wife was like, oh, have you filmed today? I was like, no. So here I am. I'll do something different today. Maybe I'm going to see how far I can go with my snake-proof shoes. You see them? I don't know when the last time, because the mower, I managed to get some mowing done, decent amount, but then the mower died, obviously. So, but that was just before winter hit, which means a lot of it may not have grown back yet. So here we are. Let's go for a wander, see what we can do. This is a gum tree. I remember when we first moved here, this I loved, because we moved in October, November, and through that summer, when the gum trees dropped their little seeds, you see all these little tiny seedy growths, you know, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, you know, well, it's just, you know, self-sowing firewood. So I left a couple of them around. I think this was the only one that we left that actually survived. Right now it's been eaten by something. Something is having a go. Can I see anything up there? I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Look at them. Look at that. We've got 1 caterpillar, 2 caterpillar, 3, 4 little one. That's what's eating them. Anyway, I'm sure it'll survive, and if not, that's okay. I'm not too concerned. But it is wild that this tree that is taller than I am was a little sapling not long ago. Anyway, here I have a neglected macadamia, chili. That looks like another macadamia has fallen there, actually, by the looks. And I think that was a pawpaw in that empty container, but it is empty. In here, which I haven't been in for many moons, there was, oh, I really don't want to get too close now because this is exactly where all the snakes will be. We had, what do you call it, spring onion that served us well, and a bunch of others. There's all our watering cans. You can see I put cardboard down to stop the weeds and grass from growing. That went well. Oh, now the door doesn't want to shut because there's weeds in the way. Hang on. There we go. Now, these, the bottom underneath here, we got off Facebook for like about $100. These former chicken breeders were selling their coop, and all I had to do was take it down, which I decided to do on a hot summer's day, being an unhealthy, you know, man. And it took me 2 days with Dad's help to pull this thing apart, get it here. And I was like, oh, I'm sure we'll have it put together by the time Charlie's born. And Charlie's 1.5. So it's been sitting there a while. Down here, ants. Look at that. Doing a tour of the backyard. Tour of the backyard today. I got bark and plastic bits. A lot of this was left before we moved, actually. Got these massive conduits. I don't know what they're there for, or what they had intended to use them for, or if maybe they're already in use somewhere else. Not sure. It's beautiful. Here we have a fallen tree. Now this fallen tree, I probably should cut up, actually. It's not as termite ridden as I thought it would be. There's also these posts, and I'm wondering, I don't know, because there's bark and all this, and the bark doesn't match, never mind. But they were also here, most of them, before we moved. Some of those posts were the ones that I had up at the house that I said, you know, I don't really want to be burning them because they could be treated, and I don't want to risk that. But these, I reckon these came down from around here. This has been kind of where I dump a lot of the green waste. So you can see a couple more bits of timber there. That is a post that is definitely treated because it's green. Not natural green, chemical green. This is where I tested to see how tough the new mower was, and it did really well because it got through this sort of thick stuff. That's where I dumped all the green waste to be dealt with later. There's the old chicken coop. Fun fact about this shed, when we got here, there was a piece of concrete looking thing on it, and I kept looking at it, looking at the edges and going, that doesn't look like concrete, that looks like asbestos. And so So we had a dude come by, do a bit of a check. It was not asbestos, thank goodness. But yeah, it was a bit unnerving for a little while there. We've got neighbours here, lovely, lovely, lovely people. But somehow, somewhere, I've got to figure it out, their dogs get through. And it looks like they'll go under, but I'm not sure where. I need to do a proper perimeter, end to end one day. Figure it out. Here's part of an old tank and some tree roots. I think this tree root has, if you can see it, this red, pretty sure that is a termite nest, mound sort of thing. We do get a bit of that. There's a lot of ants and a lot of wildlife. It's a beautiful spot down here. That's a massive termite mound, that one. There's a couple. It's just what, just things you got to deal with when you're out this way is termites and wildlife and aha. This, number one, I need to put some more wiring up top, but underneath that will be where the dogs are coming through. So at some point I'm going to need to do this again properly. I might get a stick like that. Ow. Oh, I've got a blister. Now I know. Now I know. That's good. This whole bottom area I could do a lot of work to and get it looking nice. But hey, now there we go. That's just kind of saved me a job. In case, I wonder if there's any more spots they get under. Don't know. Oh, is it not good enough anymore? Used to be able to see chicken wire at a distance. Now, how am I going to see that? Anyway. This is the bottom end of the yard. There's a lot of, sticks and bits and pieces down here. We never get down here because it has, like most of the time we've been here, we've had one mower that half worked some of the time. And then I bought that other mower, which mowed once, very loudly. Then something, went off and fully died. And I thought, oh, well, we'll fix it. Year and a bit later, it's finally come back alive. Almost. I've got one more part until it's functional again. Here's another termite mound. Did a lot of termites. I wonder if we can see some active termites. No, I'm going to be here forever. It's rock hard. This here doesn't look like anything fancy, but you'll notice that there's some grass that's a bit thicker. So Hannah and I, in December 24, January 25, somewhere around there, we tried to lay some dirt. Didn't put any cardboard down like fools. Didn't put anything. We just thought, oh well, we'll turn up some dirt and compost and put a few pumpkin seeds down, because pumpkins just take off like nothing else. Or they would have if we didn't have bush turkeys. Because again, within not very long at all, the bush turkeys came down and ate the entire garden up. This is our dam. Nothing too fancy. We do have yabbies in there. I learned that because over there where those two banana trees are, I'll show you in a second, I put down I dug and muddied up the dirt to create a taro patch. And we'd been nurturing I bought a taro and I cut the top off, like the root vegetable. Cut the top off, soaked it in water, did what you had to do, nurtured it into a plant. The plant had suckers, so we'd had pots and pots and pots of taro plants ready to go when we moved. And of course, as soon as we dug the patch and planted the taros, the bush turkeys ate everything within 48 hours. The first day one, I went down and had a look, and I noticed that they'd torn it up a little bit and turned it up, so, and there was one or two of them there at the time. I shooed them off, Came back the next day, there was not a root, not a leaf, nothing. Nothing at all. After months of propagating and, these need water. These desperately need water. I need a better system for collecting water, I think, because what I would do is I'd get a bucket like this one. Actually, this one's got tea ready to go in there. I'm just going to pour a little bit on here. I'd get this bucket, and there was one here. I'm just going to, yeah, there you go, a little tiny baby one. Oops. There we go. Come on, a bit of water for you too. And I'd go to the dam with, you know, some shoes on. What do you call them? Gumboots. And I'd scoop up a bit of water and pour it on the plants. And same thing with the taro. The taro patch was down there. Obviously there's nothing there now. But I noticed something moving and bubbles coming up from around the plants. And discovered, yeah, I've been pulling yabbies out of the water. I didn't even realise we had yabbies. But we do. There's also this water pump. So this water pump goes, well, there was, maybe it's been dragged under. You can see a rope and a star picket thing over there. Basically, there's a pipe underwater. And this is a petrol pump. I've got to tidy all this up. But once you clear it up, it pumps water all the way. See up at the house, that white post, all the way up there. That has a hose on it. And that hose is where we can get access to the water. There's other hoses as well that I've got to do some proper tracing, but I'm starting to get the idea that maybe there's a way to pump water straight from this dam into the tanks, which, do we want to do that? I'm not sure. I don't think so, actually. But we might. And at the very least, it's good to know if we can, you know? Anyway. Over here's the other boundary where the other neighbours are. They're lovely as well. They're quiet. We have some beautiful neighbours here because everyone's just quiet. I try to be quiet as well, you know. But I've got Charlie and the dogs. But anyway, there's the boundary there. Check out my fence. We got more. Look at this. More dogs trying to escape. Really, I need to redo both the fences. But we'll see. Hanny and I were talking about a couple things. There's a couple of things going on in our lives and friends' lives and all that. We're talking about, do we delay the Vanuatu timeline, which we might do. We'll see. What is... Oh, I was about to pick that up. I thought that was a rock. It's a mushroom. So as you can see, it's been a couple of months since I mowed. Some of it's grown back. This part here has grown back, but this part here has not. So the beauty of winter here is when it gets real cold, no grass grows. Here's the beginning of a new termite mound. Look at that. Can we see active termites there? Oh, Zia's angry at something. Oh, there we go. Ants. Anyway, it's okay, Zia. I think she heard me. I'm not normally down here. Another thing we'd tossed up and talked about was this. So there's some more timber there, which honestly I kind of forgotten about. We have talked about though. So most of this plant here, this big bush, is lantana, and lantana is basically a noxious weed. Noxious is that? I don't know. Noxious is like toxic. I don't think it's toxic. But anyway, it's very, very, very hard to kill. It's been isolated to this patch, and part of me is thinking maybe it'd be nice to, you know, get somebody in to destroy it completely. Sucks about some of these other trees though. There's a termite nest in that one, you can see. But then lay a slab and then either build a granny flat down the track or a shed or both. I know one of the places we lived in when I was a kid, they had like a shed and a granny flat combined together. Shed on one side and then it sort of tapered off into a granny flat. Maybe we could do similar there. But again, like, it's hard at the moment because we got a plan. The plan is to go. But the timeline is like, what do we do? Anyway. And that's the backyard. Going through there. All those sheds, dams at the bottom. It's a nice place. It's very peaceful. It's very beautiful. Sorry, did I upset you? I was down where I'm not normally and she's a bit out of sorts. But there you go. That's the backyard. Look at that. Look at the roof, right? We could fit more solar panels on there. I reckon if we ripped out, okay. Oh, sorry, Zia. The post on the left is the kitchen exhaust. Then to the right there's a skylight that's in the kitchen. Just beyond that is the fireplace. And then you've got two whirlybirds and the NBN antenna. Now, the thing is, that skylight we could replace with an electronic one pretty easily and it would seal the hole in the roof. I really don't like skylights for the hole in the roof. The kitchen one, I don't know, we'd have to kind of deal with that. Fireplace, same thing, we'd just deal with that. The NBN antenna and the TV antenna. Now, we're not using either. Obviously, I'll put the Starlink dish up there, so the NBN's out. The TV dish, TV antenna we don't use, and I think it's broken actually looking at it. But if we were to remove all of that and put extra panels up, I reckon we could almost generate enough solar power to be fully 100% off-grid self-sufficient in terms of energy. Same thing here, like there's a lot of roof that is just exposed and not being used. The shed is completely panel free and we got cable now and a conduit. There's another shed over there that's not even connected to power. There's a lot of potential. Anyway, I've been yapping for way too long. I better go. Bye.